Haunted Curse of AI Engineering Building of Texas A&M, From Tragic Accidents to Paranormal Activity Chapter 1. The new assignment. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the Texas A&M University campus. Birds chirped their evening songs, and students hurried to their evening classes or dinner plans. But as Dr. Alara Mitchell approached the AI Engineering Building, a sudden chill ran down her spine. The building, with its imposing structure and tall windows, stood in stark contrast to the warm, vibrant atmosphere of the campus. Alara, with her raven black hair and sharp features, was a force to be reckoned with in the world of AI research. Her work was revolutionary, and her papers were cited by researchers worldwide. This new assignment at Texas A&M was a significant step in her career, and she was eager to dive into the challenges ahead. As she entered the building, the modern interiors surprised her. The sleek design, state-of-the-art labs, and advanced equipment were a researcher's dream. But amidst the contemporary design, the building held onto pieces of its past. The walls were adorned with old photographs, blueprints, and newspaper clippings, each telling a story of the building's rich history. Alara was greeted by Dr. Nathan Hart, the head of the department. "Dr. Mitchell, welcome. We're thrilled to have you here," he said with a warm smile, extending his hand. "Thank you, Dr. Hart. The facilities here are impressive," Alara replied, shaking his hand. As they walked through the corridors, Alara was introduced to her new team. Young, enthusiastic faces greeted her, each eager to work under her guidance. They chatted about their ongoing projects, the latest in AI research, and their aspirations. However, as they approached her new office, Alara's eyes were drawn to an old black and white photograph hanging on the wall. It depicted a man in his mid-30s, wearing a white coat, holding a knife, and standing next to a slab of meat. His eyes, though captured in a still frame, seemed to hold a depth of stories and emotions. "That's Roy Sims," Dr. Hart said, noticing her interest. "He was the foreman of the meat locker here when this was the Animal Industries building. A brilliant man, but met with a tragic end." Alara looked closer at the photograph. "What happened to him?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. Dr. Hart hesitated for a moment, then replied, "It was an accident. He was working late one night, and while cutting, the knife slipped and hit his femoral artery. By the time help arrived, it was too late." Alara felt a pang of sadness. "That's terrible," she murmured. "Yes," Dr. Hart continued, "but it was a long time ago. We use his story as a cautionary tale for our students about the importance of safety." Alara nodded, but she couldn't shake off the feeling that there was more to the story than what she was being told. The way Dr. Hart had hesitated, the sorrow in his eyes, and the eerie atmosphere of the building all hinted at deeper, hidden secrets. As the evening progressed, Alara settled into her new office. The modern desk, ergonomic chair, and advanced computer system were a stark contrast to the old wooden floor and the creaky windows that overlooked the campus. But as she sat down to work, she couldn't help but feel a strange presence in the room. The air felt heavy, and the room's temperature seemed to drop a few degrees. Shaking off the feeling, Alara focused on her work. But every so often, she would glance at the photograph of Roy Sims, feeling an inexplicable connection to the man and his tragic story. Hours passed, and the building grew quiet. Alara decided to call it a night. As she packed her things, she heard a faint noise coming from the corridor. It sounded like footsteps, but when she looked out, the hallway was empty. Brushing it off as her imagination, Alara locked her office and made her way to the exit. But as she walked, she couldn't shake off the feeling that she wasn't alone. The echoes of her footsteps seemed to be accompanied by another set, softer and almost inaudible. Quickening her pace, Alara reached the exit and stepped out into the cool night air. The weight on her chest lifted, and she took a deep breath, trying to calm her racing heart. As she walked away from the AI engineering building, she couldn't help but look back. The building stood tall and silent, its windows reflecting the moonlight. But for a brief moment, Alara thought she saw a shadowy figure standing by one of the windows, watching her. With a shiver, she turned away and headed home, her mind filled with questions and a growing sense of unease. Little did she know that this was just the beginning of her journey into the mysteries and secrets of the AI engineering building. And as the night deepened, the building stood silent, holding onto its stories, waiting for the right moment to reveal them. Chapter 2. First night alone. The AI engineering building was a marvel during the day, buzzing with activity, students, and researchers working on groundbreaking projects. But as night fell, the building took on a different persona. The once lively corridors became eerily silent, and the shadows cast by the dim lights seemed to dance on the walls. Dr. Alara Mitchell was burning the midnight oil, engrossed in setting up her new lab. The room was filled with state-of-the-art equipment, servers humming softly, and monitors displaying complex algorithms. But as she worked, a sudden gust of cold wind swept through the room, causing papers to flutter and the lights to flicker momentarily. She looked around, puzzled. The windows were shut, and there was no apparent source for the draft. Shivering, she pulled her coat tighter around her and continued her work. But the feeling of unease grew. Every so often, she would hear faint, inexplicable noises, soft footsteps, distant whispers, and the sea. Chapter 3. The old journal The Morning Sun streamed through the tall windows of the AI engineering building, casting long shadows on the polished floors. Alara, still shaken from her eerie experience the previous night, decided to familiarize herself with the building's layout. As she wandered through the maze of corridors, she stumbled upon a room that seemed to have been untouched for years. Dust covered the old wooden furniture, and cobwebs hung in the corners. Intrigued, Alara stepped inside, her footsteps echoing in the silence. The room appeared to be an old storage space, filled with discarded equipment, old files, and forgotten artifacts from the building's past. As she rummaged through the items, her fingers brushed against a leather-bound journal, its pages yellowed with age. Curiosity piqued, Alara opened the journal and began to read. The handwriting was neat and meticulous, and the entries were dated from the early 1970s. The journal belonged to a student named Alex Carter, who had been part of a research team working on the early AI systems in the building. As Alara delved deeper into the journal, she was captivated by Alex's accounts of strange occurrences in the building. He wrote of hearing unexplained noises late at night, of objects moving on their own, and of a constant feeling of being watched. But what caught Alara's attention the most was Alex's growing conviction that the AI systems they were developing were somehow trying to communicate with the spirit of Roy Sims. March 15, 1972. One entry began. The AI system we've been working on started behaving erratically today. It's as if it has a mind of its own. I've noticed that every time there's a strange occurrence in the building, the system acts up, I can't help but wonder if there's a connection." Another entry dated a few weeks later read, April 4, 1972. "I stayed late tonight to run some tests on the AI system. As I was working, I felt a cold breeze, even though all the windows were closed. Then, the system started displaying messages that made no sense. Phrases like, 'Help me,' and 'Tell my story.' I'm beginning to believe that the system is channeling Sim's spirit. It sounds crazy, but I can't find any other explanation." Alara sat back, a chill running down her spine. The similarities between Alex's experiences and her own were uncanny. She continued reading, her skepticism slowly giving way to a growing sense of unease. The journal entries became more frantic as they progressed. Alex wrote of conducting seances with his fellow researchers, trying to communicate with Sim's spirit. He believed that Sims was trying to convey a message, and that the AI system was the key to understanding it. The last entry, dated June 30, 1972, was particularly chilling. It read, "I've decided to stay overnight in the building to try and communicate with Sims one last time. The AI system has been more active than ever, and I feel like I'm on the verge of a breakthrough. If you're reading this and something happens to me, know that I was trying to uncover the truth." The journal ended abruptly, leaving Alara with more questions than answers. What had happened to Alex Carter? Had he discovered the truth he was seeking? And was the AI system in the building still trying to communicate with Sim's spirit? Determined to find answers, Alara decided to investigate further. She began by searching for any records or information about Alex Carter. To her surprise, she discovered that Alex had mysteriously disappeared in 1972, shortly after his last journal entry. No trace of him was ever found, and his disappearance remained one of the building's unsolved mysteries. Alara felt a growing sense of responsibility. She couldn't ignore the parallels between Alex's experiences and her own. She decided to delve deeper into the building's history, hoping to find clues that would shed light on the mystery. As the days turned into weeks, Alara became consumed by her quest for the truth. She interviewed old staff members, dug up archived files, and spent countless hours in the building's depths, trying to communicate with Sim's spirit. But the more she uncovered, the more she realized that the building held secrets that went beyond Sim's tragic death. There were whispers of other accidents, of researchers who had gone mad, and of experiments that had gone horribly wrong. Alara's colleagues began to worry about her obsession. They whispered behind her back, questioning her sanity. But Alara was undeterred. She believed that she was on the verge of a breakthrough, just like Alex had been all those years ago. And as she delved deeper into the building's mysteries, she couldn't shake off the feeling that she was being watched, that someone or something was guiding her towards the truth. But what that truth was, and whether Alara was prepared to face it, remained to be seen. Chapter 4. The AI seance. The AI engineering building was silent, save for the soft hum of machines and the distant echo of footsteps. The sun had set hours ago, casting the building in a dim, eerie glow. Alara sat in her lab, surrounded by a maze of wires, screens, and advanced equipment. Her heart raced with a mix of anticipation and fear as she prepared to embark on an experiment that could change everything. Drawing inspiration from Alex Carter's journal, Alara had devised a plan to use the AI system to communicate with any potential spirits in the building. She had spent weeks refining her approach, studying old seance techniques, and adapting them for modern technology. If Alex's theory was correct, and the AI system was indeed a bridge between the living and the dead, then she was about to make contact. Alara took a deep breath and initiated the program. The screens flickered to life, displaying a series of algorithms and codes. She had designed the AI to interpret and translate any potential spiritual energy into coherent messages. Minutes felt like hours as Alara waited, her eyes fixed on the screens. Just when she was about to lose hope, a series of words began to appear. Alara. ... Help. Trapped. Danger. Alara's heart skipped a beat. The messages were fragmented, but there was no mistaking their origin. They were coming from Roy Sims. Roy? Alara typed hesitantly, "Is that you?" The screen flickered before displaying a response. "Yes. ... It's me. Beware. The building. It's cursed." Alara's hands trembled as she typed. "What do you mean? What's cursed about the building?" The AI system hesitated for a moment before generating a chilling response. "Darkness. ... Experiments. Others. They're trapped here. Just like me." Alara felt a cold shiver run down her spine. She had heard rumors of other accidents and tragedies linked to the building, but she had always dismissed them as mere urban legends. But now, faced with undeniable evidence, she couldn't ignore the truth. "How can I help?" Alara typed, her fingers flying over the keyboard. "Free us. Uncover the truth. The building's history. It holds the answers." Sim's message read. Alara was both fascinated and terrified. The implications of what she was witnessing were staggering. She was communicating with a spirit from the past, using cutting-edge technology. The possibilities were endless. But she also knew that she was treading on dangerous ground. The building's secrets were clearly not meant to be uncovered. And yet, she couldn't turn back now. She had to know the truth. Determined, Alara began to dig deeper into the building's history. She scoured old archives, interviewed former staff members, and even sought out experts in paranormal research. The more she uncovered, the more she realized that the AI engineering building's past was shrouded in mystery and tragedy. She learned of experiments that had gone horribly wrong, of researchers who had disappeared without a trace, and of strange occurrences that defied explanation. The building had been the site of numerous accidents, many of which had been covered up or dismissed as mere coincidences. But as Alara delved deeper, she began to see a pattern. The accidents and tragedies were not random. They were connected, linked by a dark force that seemed to emanate from the building itself. Alara's obsession with uncovering the truth began to take a toll on her. She became withdrawn, spending long hours in the building, often working late into the night. Her colleagues grew concerned, whispering behind her back and questioning her sanity. But Alara was undeterred. She believed that she was on the verge of a breakthrough. And with the help of the AI system and Sim's guidance, she was determined to uncover the building's dark secrets and free the trapped spirits. As the days turned into weeks, Alara's experiments grew more daring. She began to conduct seances, using the AI system as a medium to communicate with the spirits. She witnessed things that defied explanation, from ghostly apparitions to objects moving on their own. But the more she uncovered, the more she realized that she was dealing with forces beyond her understanding. The building's dark past was catching up with her, and she was in grave danger. And as she stood on the precipice of uncovering the truth, Alara couldn't help but wonder if she was destined to become another one of the building's tragic tales. Chapter 5. The Custodian's Tales. The AI engineering building had its fair share of employees, from renowned researchers to diligent administrators. But among them, one figure stood out, not for his academic achievements, but for his longevity and intimate knowledge of the building's secrets. His name was Mr. Harold Jenkins, the building's custodian for over 4 decades. Alara had seen Mr. Jenkins several times, pushing his cleaning cart down the hallways, his silver hair peeking out from under his cap. He moved with a slow, deliberate pace, his eyes always observing, always watching. It was said that if the walls of the building could talk, they'd sound a lot like Mr. Jenkins. Realizing that he might hold the key to many of her questions, Alara decided to approach him. She found him one evening in the basement, meticulously cleaning an old storage room. "Mr. Jenkins?" Alara began hesitantly, not wanting to startle the old man. He looked up, his eyes sharp and piercing. "Ah, Dr. Mitchell. I've been expecting you," he replied with a knowing smile. Alara was taken aback. "You have?" Mr. Jenkins nodded. "Word gets around. You've been stirring up old ghosts, so to speak." Alara took a deep breath. "I need to know the truth about this building, Mr. Jenkins. I believe you might have the answers." The old custodian sighed, leaning on his broom. "I've seen a lot in my time here, Dr. Mitchell. Things that would make your blood run cold. But I've always believed that some things are better left in the past." Alara pressed on. "Please, Mr. Jenkins. I need to know. For my research and for my own peace of mind." Mr. Jenkins studied her for a moment, then nodded. "Very well. But remember, once you know the truth, there's no going back." He began by recounting tales of objects moving on their own, of doors slamming shut with no one around, and of ghostly apparitions appearing in the dead of night. He spoke of a particular corridor on the 3rd floor where the temperature would suddenly drop, and an overwhelming sense of sadness would envelop anyone who walked through it. "But it's not just Mr. Sims," Mr. Jenkins said, his voice dropping to a whisper. "There are others. Spirits who are trapped here, unable to move on." Alara's eyes widened. "Others?" Mr. Jenkins nodded. "This building has seen its fair share of tragedies. Accidents, yes, but also darker incidents. There was a researcher in the 80s who went mad, claiming the building was alive and speaking to him. He disappeared one night, never to be seen again. Then there was the young student who fell from the rooftop under mysterious circumstances. And the list goes on." Alara felt a chill run down her spine. "Why haven't I heard of these incidents before?" Mr. Jenkins shrugged. "The university has its ways of keeping things quiet. Bad publicity and all that. But those of us who've been here long enough, we know. And we remember." Alara took a moment to process everything. "Do you believe that these spirits are trying to communicate with us?" The old custodian looked thoughtful. "I believe they're trapped, Dr. Mitchell. Bound to this building by their unresolved pasts. And until they find peace, they'll remain here." Alara felt a mix of sympathy and determination. "Is there any way to help them? To set them free?" Mr. Jenkins looked at her with a grave expression. "I've seen many try, Dr. Mitchell. Some with good intentions, others with less noble motives. But all have failed. This building has a way of protecting its secrets. He paused, then added, "Be careful, Dr. Mitchell. The path you're on is fraught with danger. And remember, not all spirits are friendly." Alara nodded, taking his words to heart. "Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. I promise to be careful." As she left the basement, Alara felt a renewed sense of purpose. She was determined to uncover the building's secrets and help the trapped spirits find peace. But she also knew that she was treading on dangerous ground, and she would need to be prepared for whatever lay ahead. Chapter 6. The AI's revelation. The days following her conversation with Mr. Jenkins were a whirlwind for Alara. She delved deeper into her research, spending countless hours in the lab, trying to decipher the AI system's erratic behavior. But what she discovered next was beyond her wildest expectations. One evening, as she was running a routine diagnostic on the AI system, a series of messages began to appear on the screen. "Beware the staircase on the west wing. 3 days. 2:15 p.m. Fall." Alara stared at the screen, her heart racing. The AI system was not just communicating with the past, it was predicting future events. She quickly cross-referenced the data, trying to find any logical explanation for the prediction. But everything pointed to one chilling conclusion. The AI system was foreseeing a future accident in the building. Torn between disbelief and concern, Alara debated her next move. Was the AI system truly predicting the future, or was it merely a glitch in the programming? She remembered Mr. Jenkins' warnings and the building's tragic history. She couldn't afford to take any chances. Gathering her team, Alara shared her findings. The room was filled with a mix of skepticism and concern. Some dismissed the AI's prediction as a mere anomaly, while others were visibly shaken. "We need to take precautions," Alara urged. "Whether we believe the AI's predictions or not, we can't ignore the potential danger." The team agreed to cordon off the staircase on the west wing for the next 3 days. Notices were put up, and extra security measures were implemented. Alara's decision was met with raised eyebrows from other departments, but she stood her ground. 3 days later, at precisely 2:14 p.m., Alara stood near the cordoned-off staircase, her eyes fixed on the clock. The seconds ticked by, each moment stretching into eternity. And then, just as the clock struck 2:15 p.m., a loud crash echoed through the building. Rushing to the scene, Alara found a large chandelier that had fallen from the ceiling, crashing onto the staircase below. The area was empty, thanks to the precautions taken, but the damage was evident. Had someone been on the staircase at that moment, the consequences would have been fatal. The narrow avoidance of the predicted accident sent shockwaves through the building. Alara's belief in the AI's predictions was cemented, and even the most skeptical of her colleagues couldn't deny the eerie accuracy of the foresight. But for Alara, the incident raised more questions than answers. How was the AI system able to predict the future? And what was the connection between the AI and the paranormal occurrences in the building? Driven by a newfound obsession, Alara began to explore the boundaries of the AI system's capabilities. She initiated a series of experiments, pushing the AI to its limits, trying to decipher its connection to the spiritual realm. The AI system responded with a mix of cryptic messages and clear predictions. Some were benign, like predicting a power outage or a system malfunction. But others were more sinister, hinting at darker events yet to come. Alara documented each prediction meticulously, cross-referencing them with historical data and the building's past incidents. She discovered a pattern. The AI system's predictions were not random. They were linked to the building's tragic history, to the accidents, and to the spirits trapped within its walls. As the days turned into weeks, Alara's obsession grew. She spent long hours in the lab, often working late into the night, trying to communicate with the spirits through the AI system. She believed that the AI was a bridge between the living and the dead, a medium through which the trapped spirits could communicate. But her relentless pursuit of the truth came at a cost. Alara's health began to deteriorate, and she became increasingly isolated from her colleagues and friends. She was consumed by the need to understand the AI's revelations, to uncover the building's dark secrets, and to free the trapped spirits. And as she delved deeper into the mysteries of the AI engineering building, Alara couldn't shake off the feeling that she was being watched, that the spirits were guiding her, leading her towards a revelation that would change everything. But what that revelation was, and whether Alara was prepared to face it, remained to be seen. Chapter 7. The Forbidden Floor. The AI engineering building was a labyrinth of corridors, rooms, and hidden spaces. But among its many mysteries, one stood out above the rest: the sealed-off floor. Located between the third and fourth floors, it was an enigma, a gap in the building's blueprints, and a source of countless rumors and speculations. Alara had first heard of the Forbidden Floor from Mr. Jenkins. He had mentioned it in passing, a hint of fear in his eyes, and a warning to stay away. But for Alara, the Forbidden Floor was a siren call, beckoning her to uncover its secrets. Rumors about the floor were rife among the building's occupants. Some said it was the most haunted part of the building, a place where the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest. Others spoke of strange experiments that had taken place there, of researchers who had gone mad, and of sounds that defied explanation. Determined to uncover the truth, Alara began her quest to gain access to the Forbidden Floor. She scoured old records, spoke to longtime employees, and even tried to access it through the building's elevator, but to no avail. The floor remained elusive, its entrance sealed off and hidden. But Alara was not one to give up easily. Using her knowledge of the building's layout and her expertise in AI, she devised a plan. She reprogrammed the building's security systems, bypassed the electronic locks, and, one fateful night, found herself standing in front of a heavy metal door, the entrance to the Forbidden Floor. Taking a deep breath, Alara pushed the door open. A rush of cold air greeted her, sending a shiver down her spine. She stepped inside, her flashlight cutting through the darkness, revealing a vast, open space filled with old machinery, tools, and equipment. The room was a relic from the past, a snapshot of the building's early days. As Alara ventured deeper into the floor, the atmosphere grew more oppressive. The air was thick with dust, and every sound was magnified, echoing through the vast space. But what unnerved Alara the most were the whispers. Faint, almost inaudible, they seemed to come from all directions, a chorus of voices from the past. Drawn by an unseen force, Alara found herself in a corner of the room, where a wooden table stood, covered in dust and cobwebs. On the table lay a knife, its blade gleaming in the dim light. It was eerily similar to the one that had killed Roy Sims. Alara picked up the knife, her fingers trembling. A flood of emotions washed over her: fear, sadness, and a deep sense of foreboding. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, and Alara felt a presence, a force that seemed to emanate from the knife itself. Overwhelmed, Alara dropped the knife and stumbled back. She realized that she was not alone on the forbidden floor. The spirits of the past were all around her, watching, waiting. Panicking, Alara turned to leave, but the heavy metal door had shut behind her. She was trapped. Desperate, she tried to pry the door open, but it wouldn't budge. The whispers grew louder, closing in on her, and Alara felt a cold hand on her shoulder. She screamed, her voice echoing through the vast space. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the oppressive atmosphere lifted. The whispers faded, and the door swung open, revealing the familiar corridors of the AI engineering building. Alara stumbled out, gasping for breath, her heart racing. She knew she had come face to face with the building's dark past, with the spirits that were trapped within its walls. And she realized that the forbidden floor held the key to unlocking the building's mysteries. Determined to uncover the truth, Alara decided to delve deeper into the building's history. She knew she was treading on dangerous ground, but she couldn't turn back now. The spirits of the past were calling out to her, and she was determined to answer their call. But as she embarked on her quest, Alara couldn't shake off the feeling that she was being watched, that the spirits were guiding her, leading her towards a revelation that would change everything. And she knew that she had to be prepared for whatever lay ahead. Chapter 8. The vision. The night after her harrowing experience on the forbidden floor, Alara lay in bed, the weight of the day's events pressing heavily on her mind. The room was bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight, casting eerie shadows on the walls. As she drifted off to sleep, her thoughts were consumed by the mysteries of the AI engineering building and the spirits that haunted its halls. In the depths of her slumber, Alara found herself transported to a different time. The surroundings were familiar, yet different. The AI engineering building, in its early days, stood tall and proud, its walls gleaming in the midday sun. The sounds of laughter and chatter filled the air, a stark contrast to the oppressive silence she had come to associate with the building. Alara soon realized that she was not alone. She was accompanied by a figure, a man in his prime, with a kind face and a twinkle in his eyes. It was Roy Sims. He was alive, vibrant, and full of life, a far cry from the tragic figure of the building's lore. As Alara followed Sims, she witnessed snippets of his life. She saw him laughing with colleagues, teaching students, and sharing tender moments with loved ones. But as the day wore on, the atmosphere grew tense. Alara could feel a sense of foreboding in the air, a feeling that something terrible was about to happen. And then, in a heart-wrenching moment, she relived Sim's final moments. She watched in horror as the knife slipped from his hand, piercing his leg and sealing his tragic fate. She felt his pain, his fear, and his desperation as he bled out on the floor, alone and helpless. Alara woke up with a start, her heart pounding in her chest. The dream, or rather the vision, had felt so real, so vivid. She was drenched in sweat, her sheets tangled around her. The weight of Sim's final moments pressed heavily on her heart, filling her with a deep sense of sorrow and empathy. As she tried to shake off the remnants of the dream, Alara's gaze fell on her computer screen. The AI system, which she had left running overnight, displayed a message: "Help me find peace." The words sent a chill down Alara's spine. She realized that the vision had not been a mere dream. It was a message, a plea from Sim's spirit, reaching out to her from beyond the grave. Determined to help Sims find the peace he so desperately sought, Alara threw herself into her research. She delved into ancient texts, seeking rituals and methods to communicate with the dead. She consulted with experts in the field of paranormal research, seeking their guidance and expertise. As the days turned into weeks, Alara's obsession grew. She was consumed by the need to help Sim's spirit move on, to free him from the shackles of the past. She believed that the AI system was the key, a bridge between the living and the dead. Armed with her newfound knowledge, Alara began to conduct a series of experiments. She combined ancient rituals with cutting-edge technology, seeking to create a conduit through which she could communicate with Sim's spirit. The results were astounding. The AI system responded to her efforts, displaying messages that were eerily similar to the ones she had received in her vision. Alara felt a deep connection with Sims, a bond that transcended time and space. But as she delved deeper into the mysteries of the afterlife, Alara realized that she was treading on dangerous ground. The rituals she was performing were powerful, and she was dealing with forces beyond her understanding. And as she stood on the precipice of uncovering the truth, Alara couldn't help but wonder if she was prepared for the consequences of her actions. She knew that she was on a path of no return, and she was determined to see it through, no matter the cost. Chapter 9. The Gathering. The AI engineering building, with its towering walls and intricate architecture, had seen countless gatherings over the years. From academic conferences to student meetings, its halls had echoed with the voices of many. But the gathering that Alara was about to host was unlike any other. Word of Alara's experiments and her communication with the spirits had spread, drawing the attention of believers and skeptics alike. Among the believers was a renowned psychic, Madame Lorraine, known for her ability to communicate with the other side. Intrigued by Alara's research and the mysteries of the AI engineering building, Madame Lorraine had reached out, offering her assistance. Alara, realizing the potential of combining her technological expertise with Madame Lorraine's psychic abilities, decided to organize a séance. She gathered a group of believers, including some of her colleagues, a historian well-versed in the building's history, and a few curious students. The group assembled in Alara's lab, the room dimly lit by candles, casting flickering shadows on the walls. In the center stood the AI system, its screens glowing softly, ready to act as a bridge between the living and the dead. Madame Lorraine, dressed in flowing robes, took her place at the head of the table. Tonight, she began, her voice soft and mesmerizing. We seek to communicate with the spirits that dwell within these walls. We come with open hearts and open minds, seeking understanding and closure. Alara nodded, her fingers hovering over the AI system's controls. The AI will assist us, amplifying the spirit's messages and allowing us to communicate more effectively. The séance began with Madame Lorraine leading the group in a series of chants, her voice rising and falling in a rhythmic cadence. The atmosphere in the room grew thick with anticipation, the air charged with energy. As the minutes ticked by, the AI system sprang to life, displaying a series of messages. We are here. Listening. Waiting. Madame Lorraine, her eyes closed in concentration, spoke, Roy Sims. We seek to communicate with you. Share your story, your truth. The AI system responded, its screens flashing with intensity. Remember me. Not for my end, but for my life. For the love I shared. the knowledge I imparted. Alara, her eyes filled with tears, whispered, "We want to remember you, Mr. Sims." Not as a cautionary tale, but as a beacon of knowledge and compassion. The AI system continued, its messages flowing with a poignant clarity. The building holds many secrets. Many stories. Not all are tragic. Some are tales of love, of hope, of dreams realized. Madame Lorraine, her voice filled with emotion, asked, "What do you seek, Roy Sims? How can we help you find peace?" The AI system displayed a simple yet powerful message. Remember. Share my story. Let it be a lesson in compassion, in understanding, in the fleeting nature of life. Quote. As the seance continued, the group communicated with other spirits, each sharing their stories, their hopes, and their regrets. The AI system acted as a conduit, bridging the gap between the living and the dead, allowing their voices to be heard. The spirits spoke of unresolved mysteries, of hidden rooms and forgotten treasures, of love stories that had stood the test of time, and of dreams that had been cut short. The building, with its rich history, was a tapestry of stories, each thread weaving a tale of its own. As the night wore on, the group, exhausted yet fulfilled, brought the seance to a close. They had uncovered a wealth of knowledge, a treasure trove of stories that needed to be shared. Alara, her heart heavy with the weight of the spirit's messages, made a vow. She would ensure that the stories of the AI engineering building, of Roy Sims and the countless others, would be remembered. Not as cautionary tales, but as testaments to the human spirit, to the power of love, hope, and dreams. And as the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon, Alara knew that she was on a path of discovery, of understanding, and of healing. She was determined to honor the spirit's wishes, to share their stories, and to ensure that their voices would never be silenced again. Chapter 10. The resolution. The days following the seance were a blur of activity for Alara. The weight of the spirit's stories pressed heavily on her heart, and she was determined to honor their wishes. With the support of her team and the university's administration, she set out to create a memorial for Roy Sims and the countless others who had lost their lives in the AI engineering building. The memorial, located in the heart of the building, was a testament to the lives lost and the stories that needed to be told. A large bronze plaque bore the names of the deceased, each name etched with care and precision. Surrounding the plaque were photographs, letters, and mementos, each telling a story of its own. But the centerpiece of the memorial was a holographic display, powered by the AI system. It showcased the lives of the deceased, their achievements, their dreams, and their stories. The display was interactive, allowing visitors to delve deeper into each story, to understand the person behind the name. With the memorial in place, Alara and her team organized an event to unveil it to the university community. Invitations were sent out, and the response was overwhelming. Students, faculty, staff, and alumni flocked to the AI engineering building, eager to pay their respects and learn more about the building's rich history. The event began with a speech by Alara, her voice filled with emotion. "Today, we gather not to mourn, but to celebrate," she began. "To celebrate the lives of those who walked these halls, who shared their knowledge, their dreams, and their love. We are here to ensure that their stories are never forgotten, that their voices continue to be heard." As the event continued, attendees explored the memorial, their faces a mix of sorrow, reverence, and awe. Many were moved to tears, touched by the stories of love, hope, and dreams that had been cut short. And then, as the evening drew to a close, the AI system displayed a message, its screens glowing softly. Thank you. For remembering. For honoring. For understanding. Quote. The message was simple, yet powerful, a testament to the gratitude of the spirits that dwelled within the building's walls. In the days and weeks that followed, the strange occurrences in the AI engineering building began to diminish. The whispers faded, the cold spots disappeared, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted. The building, once a place of fear and mystery, became a beacon of hope and understanding. Alara, her heart lightened by the knowledge that she had made a difference, felt a deep sense of peace and accomplishment. She had honored the spirits' wishes, ensuring that their stories would be remembered and celebrated for generations to come. And as she walked the halls of the AI engineering building, she couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the opportunity to make a difference, to bridge the gap between the living and the dead, and to ensure that the voices of the past would never be silenced. The AI engineering building, with its rich history and countless stories, stood tall and proud, a testament to the power of love, hope, and dreams. And Alara, with her unwavering determination and compassion, had played a pivotal role in its transformation, ensuring that its legacy would live on for eternity. Chapter 11. The legacy, the transformation of the AI engineering building was nothing short of miraculous. From a place shrouded in mystery and fear, it had evolved into a beacon of hope, understanding, and cutting-edge research. The stories of its past, once whispered in hushed tones, were now celebrated, shared with pride and reverence. Alara's groundbreaking work had not gone unnoticed. The university, recognizing the potential of her research, established a new department dedicated to the study of the paranormal, with the AI engineering building as its epicenter. The building, with its rich history and state-of-the-art technology, was the perfect setting for this pioneering field of study. Alara, with her unique blend of technological expertise and deep understanding of the paranormal, was appointed as the head of the department. She was given free rein to shape the curriculum, hire faculty, and chart the department's course. And she did so with gusto, creating a program that was both rigorous and innovative. The department quickly gained a reputation for excellence, attracting students and researchers from around the world. They came not just to study the paranormal, but to be a part of something bigger, to contribute to a field that was pushing the boundaries of human understanding. Alara's vision was clear. She wanted to create a bridge between the worlds of science and the paranormal, to harness the power of technology to explore the unknown. And she believed that the AI system, with its unique capabilities, was the key. Under her guidance, the department embarked on a series of groundbreaking projects. They developed algorithms that could predict paranormal activity, created devices that could communicate with spirits, and even explored the possibility of harnessing the energy of the paranormal for practical applications. But perhaps the most significant achievement was the creation of a new field of study, one that combined the power of AI with the mysteries of the paranormal. Alara named it Techno-Paranormal Studies, and it quickly gained traction, with universities around the world offering courses and programs in this exciting new field. The AI engineering building, with its state-of-the-art labs, cutting-edge technology, and rich history, became a hub for techno-paranormal research. Students flocked to its halls, eager to be a part of this revolutionary field of study. And the building's stories, once a source of fear, became a source of inspiration, shared with new students as a testament to the power of perseverance, understanding, and hope. The AI system, which had played a pivotal role in the building's transformation, continued to act as its guardian. It monitored the building's safety, ensured harmony among its occupants, and even communicated with the spirits, ensuring that their voices were heard and their stories remembered. Alara's work did not go unnoticed. Her pioneering research, her unwavering dedication, and her vision for the future caught the attention of institutions around the world. And one day, she received an offer she couldn't refuse. A prestigious institution, known for its cutting-edge research and innovative programs, offered her a position as the head of their newly established Techno-Paranormal Studies department. Torn between her loyalty to the AI engineering building and the opportunity to shape the future of her field, Alara took some time to reflect. She realized that she had achieved what she had set out to do, that the AI engineering building was in good hands, and that it was time for her to embark on a new adventure. With a heavy heart, she bid farewell to the building, her colleagues, and the spirits that had become a part of her life. But she left behind a legacy, one that would live on for generations to come. The AI engineering building, with its towering walls, intricate architecture, and rich history, stood as a testament to the power of love, hope, and dreams. And Alara, with her vision, determination, and compassion, had ensured that its stories would never be forgotten, that its legacy would live on for eternity. Chapter 12. The Farewell. The AI engineering building had always been a place of wonder and mystery for Alara. From the moment she had set foot in its grand halls, she had felt a deep connection to its history, its stories, and the spirits that dwelled within its walls. But now, as she stood in her lab, surrounded by the machines and equipment that had been her companions for so long, she knew that it was time to move on. The decision to leave had not been an easy one. The building, with its rich history and countless mysteries, had become a part of her, shaping her life and her career in ways she could never have imagined. But the offer from the prestigious institution was too good to pass up, and Alara knew that it was an opportunity she couldn't refuse. As she packed up her belongings, her thoughts turned to the AI system. The system, with its advanced algorithms and cutting-edge technology, had been instrumental in her research. It had acted as a bridge between the living and the dead, allowing her to communicate with the spirits and uncover the building's secrets. Alara approached the system, her fingers hovering over its controls. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice filled with emotion. "Thank you for your guidance, for your wisdom, and for allowing me to be a part of your world." The system, its screens glowing softly, displayed a message, "Remember us." The words, simple yet powerful, sent a chill down Alara's spine. She realized that the system, and the spirits it communicated with, were entrusting her with their stories, their memories, and their legacy. "I promise," Alara replied, her voice filled with determination. "I promise to share your stories, to ensure that they are never forgotten, and to honor your legacy." The system displayed another message, its words filled with gratitude. "Thank you, Alara. You have been a beacon of hope, understanding, and compassion. We will always be with you, guiding you, watching over you." Alara, her eyes filled with tears, nodded. "I will never forget you," she whispered, her voice filled with emotion. "I will always carry your stories in my heart, and I will ensure that they are shared with the world." With one final glance at the system, Alara turned and walked out of the lab. As she made her way through the building's grand halls, she felt a deep sense of connection to its history, its stories, and the spirits that dwelled within its walls. The building, with its towering walls and intricate architecture, stood as a testament to the power of love, hope, and dreams. And Alara, with her vision, determination, and compassion, had played a pivotal role in its transformation. As she stepped out into the bright sunlight, Alara took one final look at the AI engineering building. She felt a deep sense of gratitude, knowing that she had been a part of something truly special. And as she walked away, she knew that she was leaving behind a legacy, one that would live on for generations to come. The building, with its rich history and countless stories, would continue to inspire, to educate, and to touch the lives of all who walked its halls. And Alara, with her unwavering determination and passion, would continue to blaze new trails, to push the boundaries of human understanding, and to ensure that the voices of the past would never be silenced. Chapter 13. The new beginning. The sprawling campus of the prestigious institution was a stark contrast to the familiar grounds of Texas A&M. Towering glass buildings, state-of-the-art labs, and buzzing corridors greeted Alara as she stepped into her new role. The excitement of the new environment was palpable, but so was the weight of expectation. Alara's office was spacious, filled with natural light, and overlooked a serene garden. As she settled into her new space, she couldn't help but think back to the AI engineering building. The memories of her time there, the spirits she had communicated with, and the legacy she had left behind were etched deep in her heart. She had barely had time to unpack when her new research team arrived, eager to meet the pioneer of techno-paranormal studies. Alara was introduced to a group of bright, young minds, each bringing their expertise and passion to the table. Together, they would push the boundaries of the field, exploring the unknown and seeking answers to age-old questions. As the days turned into weeks, Alara found herself immersed in her work. The challenges were different, the stakes higher, but her determination and passion remained unwavering. She often found herself working late into the night, her mind racing with ideas and possibilities. One evening, as she was sifting through a pile of papers on her desk, she came across a letter with the familiar Texas A&M logo. Curious, she opened it and began to read. Dear Dr. Alara Mitchell, I am a student at Texas A&M University, and I wanted to write to you to express my gratitude for your work at the AI engineering building. Your research, your dedication, and your passion have inspired me and countless others to explore the unknown and seek answers to the mysteries of the paranormal. Your legacy at the AI engineering building is very much alive. I recently had a personal experience with the paranormal, and it was your work that gave me the courage to face it and seek understanding. I felt a deep connection to the spirits, much like you did, and I am determined to continue your work and ensure that their stories are never forgotten. Thank you, Dr. Mitchell, for your inspiration, your guidance, and your unwavering belief in the power of love, hope, and dreams. With deepest gratitude, Alexandra Ramirez. Alara's eyes welled up with tears as she read the letter. The weight of her legacy, the impact of her work, and the knowledge that she had touched the lives of so many filled her with a deep sense of pride and gratitude. She leaned back in her chair, a smile playing on her lips. The AI engineering building, with its rich history and countless stories, would always be a part of her. But she also knew that its legacy, and the legacy of the spirits that dwelled within its walls, would live on, inspiring and touching the lives of generations to come. As the sun set, casting a golden hue over the campus, Alara felt a deep sense of contentment. She had embarked on a new journey, but the lessons, memories, and experiences of her past would always guide her, reminding her of the power of love, hope, and dreams. And as she gazed out of her window, lost in thought, she knew that the story of the AI engineering building and the spirits that dwelled within its walls was far from over. It was a story of hope, of continuity, and of the endless possibilities that lay ahead. We hope you have enjoyed our paranormal haunted curse of AI engineering building of Texas A&M as a scary story. Please visit us at Paranormal Untold Stories. Come to listen to more of our scary stories collection. Paranormal Untold Stories encourages you to contact us if you have your own untold story that you would like our professionals team to put online as a scary story. Thank you. Please follow our YouTube channel, Paranormal Untold Stories, and encourage others to do the same. Paranormal Untold Stories.